So in 4 days, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice finally drops, guys. I know we've all been waiting on it. I wanted to do my trophy breakdown and speculation video because the trophy list is on the internet now. I looked at it yesterday, but didn't have time to sit down and make this video for you guys yesterday. So I figured I would do it right now. We're gonna go through them one by one. As always, down below in the description, as well as my pinned comment, I will have each one of these trophies listed for you guys, as well as the description for each one of the trophies. You guys can copy them to a Word document. I know some of you guys like to trophy hunt with the trophy list pulled up maybe on a second monitor. I know some of you like to dashboard, but either way, they'll be down there for you guys if you want to copy them just for your records. All right, so the first trophy is called Ashina Traveler. We have to travel to all the areas of the game. All right, so I can tell you guys that I watched a live streamer over on Twitch. He actually got flown out to meet the developers and, you know, get some gameplay footage early. He did a stream, and in the stream, he showed a world map. So this game will have a world map that will show you where all the areas are. I don't know how many areas there's gonna be. The map didn't show that, it just showed a few areas, but I do know there will be a world map. I don't know at which point in the game you pick up the world map. I don't know if it's something you have to find or play to a certain point in the game to get the map. Hopefully they give us the map straight from the beginning of the game. Now when it says travel to all areas, I don't know if that just means the broad areas of the game. Like, I know if you're thinking about a Dark Souls game, right, you're thinking about areas like Firelink Shrine will be an area, Blighttown will be like an area number 2, right, so forth and so on. I don't know if this game is going to be set up that way, because I know that there are secret areas in this game. There's walls you can press your body up against and they'll swivel around to reveal like a secret area. So when they say travel to all areas, I don't know how broad of a stroke they're painting with that description. So we'll have to see how that plays out in the game, but it could mean that we have to find all the major areas of the game, and then we have to find all these little secret areas as well. All right, trophy number 2 is called Man Without Equal, Defeat All Bosses. Again, it depends on how the bosses are laid out, right? We've got the first trophy, Ashina Traveler, for traveling to all the areas of the game. So it depends on if some of these bosses are tucked away in secret areas. For instance, if I'm looking at the world map and let's just say there's 10 areas in the game, and then maybe there's 10 icons that show, you know, this is a boss fight. Well, you know, it's pretty straightforward at that point, right? You just go to all the areas and fight the bosses. But if it just shows the areas on the world map, and then maybe there's some bosses that are tucked away in some of the secret areas, this might be a little bit tricky. It's kind of a blessing in disguise, though, that we have the first trophy, Ashina Traveler, because that's going to force us to travel to all the areas anyway. The chances are, as we're going for that trophy, we should automatically be able to pick up the Man Without Equal trophy. Obviously, we're going to have to get in there and do combat and learn, you know, learn all that stuff, right? And die a bunch of times, but you get my point. At least we'll know where all the bosses are. All right, so number 3 is called Memorial Mob. Encountered the Memorial Mob. Well, if somebody's having a memorial, somebody's dead. We know that the game deals a lot in death. Your character's supposed to die and resurrect. So it could be that this trophy pops the first time you die, maybe, right? You die, maybe you're sent off to some abstract part of the, like an abstract cutscene, and there's people around mourning your death, and then you come back to life. That could be a thing. It could even be in the opening parts of the game, right? Maybe some opening cutscene where you die, and then we know you have a relationship with that NPC that gives you your prosthetic arm. So maybe there's like a short little funeral cutscene, dialogue sequence, and during that moment, you pick the trophy up. That's my thoughts on that one. I think it's just going to be something that we pick up as we play through the game naturally. So the next one's called Resurrection. We have to return from the dead using Resurrection for the first time. Simple enough. We know this game is going to kill us a lot. So once we die, all we need to do is revive. I would tell you guys to just start the game, dive off a cliff, or come in contact with the first enemy and take a death. Go ahead and get that trophy out of the way. But there is a penalty for dying in this game. From what I understand, every time you die, you increase this, I don't know exactly what the game is defining it as, but it's called dragon rot. I guess it's some disease within your body, and it affects how other NPCs interact with you in the game. And your in-game currency and your in-game XP, I don't know what the game is calling these things, I believe that also gets cut in half. So that's probably not going to be a good strategy to pick up this trophy unless you go in there and you die and then you just start a new game. You know what I mean? So that now you have the trophy already unlocked on your profile, but your new game, obviously you haven't died yet in that game. That would be the only strategy for that one, but most of us are gonna just go through the game and get owned anyway. So just wait till the first time you die and pop a revive and you'll be able to get that trophy. All right, trophy number 5 is called Revered Blade. Received the Kusabimaru from Kuro. So I don't know what the sword is in the game that he's been using in all the gameplay that I've seen. I'm assuming that is that sword. And if that's the case, then this trophy is going to unlock really early in the storyline, right? You're going to get that sword early. It could be some kind of legendary sword that you get later on in the game for doing a bunch of stuff like, you know, crafting or questing or something like that. But I don't know, that it makes me think that that is going to be received the Kusabimaru from Kuro. I think that's going to be your starting blade. I really do. I haven't seen the name of that blade yet online. I don't even know if it's been mentioned, but my guess is that's going to be something we get fairly early on in the game as well. Of course, the next one is Sekiro. All trophies have been unlocked. That's your platinum trophy. All right, so Shinobi Prosthetic acquired the Shinobi Prosthetic. I'm fairly confident we're going to get this really early on in the game because the prosthetic is such a core gameplay mechanic for this game. I don't know if it's going to be as easy as, you know, we just get it after a cutscene type deal or a dialogue sequence with an NPC. We might have to go out and acquire it, right? Because it does say acquired the Shinobi Prosthetic. So we may have to enter some part of the game real quick, maybe a tutorial, go through and find it, come back and have it put on maybe. But I think it's going to be something that it's not going to be that difficult to acquire, even if we have to run out and find it somewhere. All right, so the next one's called All Ninjutsu Techniques. We have to acquire All Ninjutsu Techniques. See how it's using the word acquire again? Did they use it anymore? Yeah, see right here, all prosthetic tools acquired, all prosthetic tools, height of technique acquired, all skills. So I don't know, guys, that makes me think we're gonna have to go out and find this stuff. I think the Shinobi Prosthetic is probably gonna be something that we get automatically, right? It's gonna be in a linear portion of the game. We're gonna pick it up, kind of like our tutorial. But when it comes to the Ninjutsu Techniques, prosthetic tools, and then acquiring all skills, I think those are gonna be out in the world. I think we're gonna have to go out and find those, very similar to what we did in Dark Souls when we had to hunt down, like if you were like a pyromancer, you could go out and buy some of the pyro spells from NPCs. You could find them in the, you know, like on a corpse or something like that. So I think that's the way this game is going to be too. I mean, otherwise it would kind of defeat the purpose of having this really nice environment that we're in, right? You got to have a reason to explore. I feel like these 4 trophies are going to be something that we have to hunt down in the game. Not something that's just going to be locked away in our menu. At least that's the way I hope it is. All right, the next one's called Lazuline Upgrade. Used Lapis Lazuli to upgrade any tool to its limit. Okay, so is that going to be like this game's version of Titanite? Maybe that is the like the Titanite slab of this game. All right, so the next trophy is called Master of the Arts. Grasp the inner mysteries of any combat style. I remember one of you guys telling me in the comments that you saw a video online that showed that there was 3 combat styles in the game. I can't remember what they were, but they each define your character in 3 different ways. Like I think one of them is more stealth based, one of them is more action based. I'm not really sure if I'm getting that right, but I remember you telling me about that. So when it says grasp the inner mysteries of any combat style, I can see that going a couple of ways. One, maybe that means you have to play with one combat style for the entire game. Like you cannot switch. And then boom, you pop the trophies in the credits, right? Another way that could go is maybe you have to complete so many actions within that combat style. For instance, if it's a stealth-based combat style, maybe you have to hit the bushes one time, you know, hide behind a wall one time, you know, fulfill different parameters within that combat style in order to grasp the inner mysteries, right? I don't know, that's where my mind goes with that trophy. Okay, the next one's called Master of the Prosthetic. Upgraded all prosthetic tools to their limit. Well, we know based on the other trophy, Lazuline Upgrade, that we're gonna have to get that item to upgrade a tool to its limit. So we're just gonna need more of those items to upgrade all the tools is the way I'm reading that one, right? We know that the Titanite slabs are pretty rare in like the Dark Souls games. So it just depends on how many of those items are in the area, and can we carry over items to each subsequent playthrough like we could in Dark Souls games as well, right? Like, does your inventory carry over? That would also be another question I have. Next up on the list, we got peak physical strength, upgraded vitality and posture to their limit. Well, we know vitality is your health. Posture is a stat you have that helps you not stagger when you're fighting the enemies. And I know that there is an in-game currency for this, or at least an item that you can use to upgrade these two parameters to your character. It's called prayer beads. I'm sure you're going to be able to find these around the area, and my thought is that after you kill a boss, you're probably going to get some of the prayer beads as well. I don't know the max stat for vitality and posture. I have no idea how far you can level those stats up, but I know for a fact that in order to level them up, you have to use prayer beads. All right, then we have ultimate healing gourd, fully upgrade the healing gourd. We know the healing gourd is this game's version of the Estus flask. So my thought there is that it's probably going to be the same way as leveling up the Estus flask. There's probably going to be an item in the game. I have no idea what it's going to be called, but you probably find those and take them back to an NPC, upgrade the healing gourd. And again, how many of these are we going to need to get? What is the max that you can get the healing gourd to? That's the biggest question at this point, but I think the mechanic is going to play out the same. All right, so it looks like we're getting into boss fight territory now. We've got Great Colored Carp, defeat the Great Colored Carp. A lot of these descriptions are just repeats of the trophy names themselves. Great Serpent, Demon of Hatred, Ashina, Gracious Gift of Tears, defeat the Divine Dragon and obtain the Divine Dragon's tears. Are we gonna square off against a freaking dragon in this game? I hope so. That's the way it looks. Corrupted Monk, defeat the Corrupted Monk. Father Surpassed, defeat Great Shinobi Owl at the Hirata Estate. Then there's a trophy called Great Shinobi Owl. Interesting, I don't know how those two trophies are gonna play out, but it's definitely up there twice. Great Shinobi Owl is up there twice, at least in terms of the description. All right, Folding Screen Monkeys. Caught the Folding Screen Monkeys. What? This must be the collectibles for the game, because I haven't seen, let me go back up to the top of this list. I haven't seen any collectibles. Let me scroll down. I still don't see any collectibles. All these are boss fights, and it looks like we have some endings to look at. Some trophies related to the endings. I don't see any collectibles in this game unless you want to count those trophies where we have to acquire something, right? Those could, I guess in theory, be collectibles, but most games have that thing that you have to collect, right? Like in Resident Evil, it was the raccoons and some other things. This has to be the collectibles, called the Folding Screen Monkeys, because it is plural. So maybe there's a bunch of these folding screen monkeys laying around the area that we have to find. That's my take on that one. If it's not that, I have no clue what this one's all about. All right, then we have Guardian Ape, Immortality Severed. Used the mortal blade to sever the Guardian Ape's undying. And then there's a note that says the description was cut off in the original post. Okay, so apparently we don't know what this description is. But see, look, the next trophy says Guardian Ape defeated the Guardian Ape. So I don't know if this is two separate boss fights with the same enemy. You know, sometimes in a game you'll fight somebody and then they'll take like so much damage, they'll run away, but you have to fight them again later on, right? That could be the way that these two trophies play out. But when it says use the mortal blade, maybe that's something you get at the end of the game, some legendary weapon you have to stab this fool with. You know what? It could be that this particular enemy has a blade and you kill this fool and then take his own blade and kill him. That would be freaking cool. There's another one called Genichiru Ashina. I guess I'm saying that correctly. The Phantom Lady Butterfly is another one. Mazataka Anawa. And then Sword Saint Ishin Ashina. But see, that's another one. See, Defeated Sword Saint Ishin Ashina, but there's another trophy called Ishin Ashina, right? So there's two trophies related to the same enemy, except one of them is the Sword Saint Ishin Ashina, and the other one is the regular version of that enemy. Interesting, guys. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the boss fight trophies are related to each other. See what I mean? Interesting. I don't know how those are going to play out. All right, guys, looks like we're wrapping up the list now. We got 4 more left. These are endings. So we've got the Dragon's Homecoming, Immortal Severance, Purification, and Shura. So the question of the day is, how many times are we going to have to play this game? Is it literally going to take us 4 playthroughs? We're going to get one ending at the end of each playthrough? Or is this going to be one of those games where we can make a choice at the end, right? You know, some games will do this, right? You get to the end, there's choices. You can pop a save right quick, make a choice, see an ending, go back to your previous save, see the next ending. I don't think From Software would make it that easy for us, but that could be a potential way to get all these endings out. But I'm thinking that we're gonna have to play through the game 4 times, which, you know, you guys know I love these type of games, so no problem. But it might take me a long time to get the guide out if I've got to play through the game 4 times. If you're new to my channel, I do a full walkthrough for these games. It's called a Road to Completion Guide. I walk you guys through the game from the beginning to the end. We get all the trophies at the same time. I help you guys get your platinum or your gamer score points. So if you're interested in that, you can check back with the channel in a few weeks and I'll start posting these guides. For those of you who follow me for a long time, you know that these guides are coming. It just takes some time and we'll take it from there. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. See you in the next one. Be good.